Hello, guys. It's Miss Dunn here. So today we are going to be talking about asking and answering questions in stories. So when you read, you sometimes have a question that pops up in your head. You're like, oh, I don't really know why they're doing that. Or why would they do this instead of this? So today that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more. Let me share my screen with you. That's not the screen I want. I want it. So hard to move it. Okay. I want that guy. So I'm going to close some of these so I can get him over here. Here we go. Ask and answer questions. When? Before you read, during your reading, and after you read. So you can ask questions throughout the whole time you're reading, even before you look. Maybe you pick up the picture and you're like, well, why is this on the cover of the story? That's a question you can ask. And then you have why. Why do we ask questions? It helps us get information. It helps us understand the text. It helps us practice being awake while we're reading. What do you think that means? Being awake while we're reading. Maybe you're thinking, well, of course I'm awake. My eyes are open. I'm not laying in bed. I'm reading my story. But sometimes when we read, we just kind of look at the words and we don't really, our brain doesn't absorb what they're saying. So it helps you stay awake when you're asking questions while you read. So then you really understand what's going on. Or it could be because you're curious and you want to know things. That's awesome. How you use question words to ask. So our question words are who, what, why, when, where, and how. We sang a fun song in my class last year. I'd love to teach it to you. It's who, what, when, where, and why, and how. Let's do that together. Who, what, when, where, and why, and how. It could be who, what, when, where, why, and how. All of those questions. So we're going to look around in our text and find pictures to help us get our answers to our questions. So I'm going to read a story. It is called Big Dilly's Tale. And we are going to see why. Where's my story? Here we go. We are going to answer some of those questions and ask them. So Big Dilly's Tale. This is a fairy tale. Fairy tales are old stories that have made up characters and events that could not happen. So when we read a fairy tale, we look for words like once upon a time and a happy ending. So we are asking questions before, during, and after we read to help us understand and get information. Can you look for evidence in the text and pictures to answer your questions? Big Dilly's Tale by Gail Carson Levine, illustrated by Julie Ishida. Illustrated means they drew the pictures. Once upon a time, I'm going to ask myself, is this a fairy tale? Well, let's look. It just said, once upon a time. So yeah, it's a fairy tale. Good job. Good first question. Dilly was a big duckling with a big beak. A duck called him ugly. Honk, quack. His friend Mina called him cute. Dilly splashed. Splat. One day, Dilly paddled fast for fun. When he turned, he was alone and lost and afraid. Uh-oh. Maybe the question I'm asking is, what's going to happen to Dilly? Is he going to find his home again? The next morning, a chilly wind blew. Dilly wished for Mina. Then, Dilly saw a girl. She led him to a farm. The barn was warm. Dilly found a nest just his size. He lived at the farm for many weeks. When spring came, Dilly went to find Mina. He saw the ducks and he saw swans. Dilly looked at himself. Oh, he saw a swan. Dilly was not a duck after all. Mina said he was still cute. honk, quack. Dilly played with the swans and Mina and the other ducks. He lived happily ever after. So I want you to look at their faces here. Do they look happy? Why do they look happy? That's a question you could ask at the end of your story. Why did the ducks look happy? Because he found his home. Dilly found Mina and they were having so much fun. So see how we asked questions throughout our story? We asked at the beginning, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. We asked, is Dilly gonna find his home? Or maybe we asked, why does he look different than the other ducks? And then when he got lost, we were like, oh no, is he ever gonna make his way back home? Is he gonna see Mina again? And then our end of our story, we asked, why is he happy now? So those are awesome questions that we can work on. We also learned that it was a fairy tale because it started with once upon a time and it ended with happily ever after. So remember, throughout all your stories, you're going to ask and answer those questions. Questions are great. They help your brain grow and you help you reach more levels with that brain. And so when we read, we really want to ask those questions.